Hey, what's up YouTube? This is going to be a video on how to bend hinges and adjust heavier doors, whether that's a solid core door, an interior door, or your entryway door. You can see this is a nice big door here, a lot of weight. Whether from the factory, the hinges, the swag in the hinges differs, so there might be some differences there, or with heavier doors over the years, they can sag. And I'll show you what you're looking for. Typically they'll be bound up on the strike side up top, on a heavier door on the strike side. An 1/8 inch gap, you can see daylight. As we move up to the head jamb, we're tight, and we see we got a gap here, a good 1/4 inch gap at the head jamb. So how to adjust this door? What we're going to do is bend the top jamb, and what you want to do is you'll take a little crescent, works pretty well. So what I'm going to do is drive this pin up till it only engages in the top knuckle. And each door is different, but you never want to bend the knuckles that are attached to the jamb. You only want to bend the knuckles that are attached to your door. If you mess up and bend the wrong knuckles, it'll be hinge bound and it won't even open. So you drive your pin up, and for this scenario, my middle 2 knuckles are on my door. I'm going to bend those towards the strike. So if I bend them that way, it's going to draw the door back up into plumb. I might have to also spread the bottom hinge. I'll show you how to go about that. So you drive your pin up, take a little crescent, kind of just work them nice and slow. So I'll show you if it'll pick up without the glare. So you can see these were in line. I bent them towards the strike. These are attached to the door. So you bend them towards the strike, and what it'll do is draw the door back to the hinge side. And then we'll get, right here we're touching, so it'll draw it back that way. It'll also bring it up. So you can watch these as I drive them. As I drive that pin down. So you can see that's a little better. Now you can pull out the screws, especially in like an MDF door jamb, but you set it in, your nail set in, and then work the door, close it, and that will spread the hinges. So that gained just a little. Now it at least closes without hitting. Now what I'm going to try to do is, you can still see, we can see daylight down here on the strike side. So what I'll do is I'll spread this bottom hinge and move the whole door over. Because when you're adjusting doors, you got to think, basically you have a rectangle inside of a rectangle. So anytime you move, one thing, it's going to change everything of how it's going to fit in the jamb. So I'll spread that bottom over, and that should help our cause at the top by drawing it back. So what you do to spread a hinge is you set your nail set in there on the knuckles and just ever so gently close the door on it. So it's already shutting a lot better. And it doesn't take much, like I said, when you're spreading versus bending the knuckles. When you're spreading, you got to be very careful. So you can see we're getting close. That helped out a lot. We'll try to bend the top just a little bit more. And like I said, this process, it's better to take your time. When you're bending these knuckles, make sure you're bending the knuckles, the leaf that's attached to the door only, never the one that's on the jamb. I bent these two over, and that's going to draw the door back that way. So if you've got a gap on your strike side, you bend the hinges toward your strike. So now we actually have a proper gap almost up top before it was hitting. Now at the bottom, we've closed it up a little better. We still need to spread the bottom hinge to kick it over. Because before we started adjusting this door, it was bound up on the strike side. There, that's a lot better. And sometimes even from the factory, this can happen. Because if you ever look at a stack of hinges from the factory, they could have a difference of the bend in them, the swag could be different from each hinge. Gary Katz, he's done a lot of videos on this and probably does a better explanation. Where we were touching to now, there's almost a 16th reveal. Down to the bottom, we probably had 5/16. On the strike side, we're down to an 8. So there you go. That's how you can adjust the door by bending hinges. Thanks for watching today's video. Please go to Meyer Construction, hit like, hit subscribe, and be looking out for more videos to come out on some trim carpentry, some bath remodels, and also I got a big welding project coming up. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned.